This video is brought to you by the FARMER-KLEIN YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Sosnovka. But before that, this video is brought to you by Mervyn Knotts and Optimus. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Sosnovka map can be found over at the FarmingSimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. And as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now let me give you a little bit of history with respect to Sosnovka. So this map was, if I'm recalling correctly, an expansion map in Farming Simulator 15. It was one of the two standard maps in Farm Sim 17. Was a fairly beloved mod map in FS 19, and now it has returned once again in Farming Simulator 22. Let's read a little bit of the description. This is a map from Farm Sim 17, converted and modernized for Farming Simulator 22. Map includes a main farm, animals, 36 fields, 15 sell points, and a biogas plant. Pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and load on into the map. We are going to use the mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps. That is additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. If you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find that the main farm is barren of starting vehicles as well as buildings. You do not own any land, and of course your bank account balance is the normal 1.25 million or 500,000. Now we are loaded up here in new farmer mode, and let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. Anyone who has been on Sosnovka is going to know this PDA quite well. This is, in my opinion, a very, very accurate conversion to the FS 17 version of the map, as the description says. There's not a whole lot that has been done FS to FS 22 this map. All the building textures are still the same as FS 17. They're all in the same general locations. We do have cows, we do have chickens, we have sheep, and we have pigs. Let's go ahead and take a look. We do also have all the standard crop types available to us here in Farm Sim 22. And if we take a look at the lands, you'll see we start out by owning the main farm area, the area across the street from the main farm, and then two particular fields. We own field 14 as well as field 19. So the main farm, if we start up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, we're going to be able to buy for $127,000. There is a chicken area located right up here that we can buy for $53,000, a pig area for $49,000, and then a sheep area for $100,000. And we will be buying all of those animal areas when we get around to the drive around, because we will be taking a look at all of the triggers and such. There is a biogas plant located right here that we can buy for $158,000. We go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. This is going to show us all of the buyable farmlands, if they are associated with fields, what field number they are associated with, the size of the farmland, and how much the farmland is going to cost. As we can see here, it looks like we have a one-to-one association of farmlands and field numbers. That is often very, very great to have, because it makes associating the field and the prices a lot easier. And then we're going to be able to compare here in a little bit the farm land size compared to the field sizes when we go down to the field calculator screen. You see most of these viable farmlands are $100,000 to $500,000 in cost. Take a look at our field calculator screen. Now this is going to show us the specific sizes of the fields themselves. We have a fair bit of fields that are between 1 hectare and 3 hectares in size. Field 18 is 6.51. Take a look at our crop counter. We do have the standard base game crop counter available to us here in Farm Sim 22 for Sosnovka. And if we look at our prices screen, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell each and every crop that we could grow, including sugar beet cut, We also have the ability to sell all of our animal outputs. And when we get down here to our production, we do have the ability to sell all of the standard base game production items available on this particular map. Even though the BGA is the only production that is built in, we do have the ability, if we place additional production, to go ahead and sell that. The only exception to the case is that we do not have a bulk line buy point, and we do not have a stone crusher. So if we do play with stones enabled, we will need to put down our own stone crusher or some other sell point that is going to accept stones. We have a fairly small list of starting equipment. All of it is new. None of it is leased. This map does start out with a cow pasture, but we do not have any animals at the start. We do have contracts available, even though there are none showing up here. And we do not own the BGA at the start. This map also does not have any collectibles. Let's jump back up here and take a quick look at our soil map. This map is using the generic precision farming soil map. And here we can see how that is applied. We have a decent amount of silty clay on a lot of the northern fields. Field 18 is a mix of loamy sand, sandy loam, and loam. And then we have some loam and sandy loam more to the south of the map. And Sosnovka in general has been set up so a lot of the fields are kind of on the periphery of the map, with forestry more taking the center stage. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start out with the Zetor HSX 120 and the Proxima HS80 small tractor. We have the Zetor Cristal HD 170 medium tractor. We have the Dutz Topliner 4090H harvester that is paired up with the 4090H header. And then we have the Welger DK 115 trailer, the Rave EG39 cultivator, the Amazon KG 3001 Super Power Harrow that is also paired up then with the 3000 Super Seeder. Then we have a trio of ATCO 1500 kilogram front weights. We can see that there are no custom vehicles or implements that are tied to the map. Let's go ahead and take a look around the farm itself. So here we load in. We have our farm silo. So we have our fill pipe. This is where we're going to get product out of the silo. We're going to dump product into the silo on the other side. Located right up here. We have a diesel fuel point. Located right there. Our farmhouse is located across the street. Also across the street, we have a bale sell point. We have a scale and then a nice bale shed, a bale barn, if you will. Back on the farm side of the street, we have a workshop trigger located right here. Be very careful not to fall into the pit. Then we have bulk seed buy point and bulk fertilizer buy points. Tractor vehicle storage is located right here. Another fabulous bale barn. We have a silage bunker for our cows. And then we're going to find several of these silage bunkers scattered around the map as well. Here we have our cow building. We have our straw and food trough located through here. We have our slurry point. We have our milk point. And then way over here on the other side of the fence is where we have our animal deliver point, or our animal buy trigger. So we have 200 cows in this particular facility. So then back across the street one more time, we have a water fill point. Now, if we start this map up, as I said, in Farm Manager, start from scratch, none of these buildings are located here, including the water fill point. And the reason that is important to understand is that, of course, all of this area is clear, other than the utility poles and the trees. They are going to remain. If we take a look at our build menu, you will see that we do not have the ability to place these old style buildings. So if we want to start in farm manager mode and we want to build out a farm that matches the rest of the map's aesthetics, we're not going to have the ability to place these exact buildings back down because they are not available in build mode. See, we do not have this silo system here under silos, extensions, containers. We do have the water tower, as well as the diesel tank, seed, and fertilizer fill point, but that is pretty much it. We do not have the old style farmhouse. We do not have the ability to place another BGA that fits within the scope of this map. Greenhouses, orchards, and generators are all standard, as well as all of the animal areas. There are no custom animal areas that we can place down. Decorations is all standard, and if we take a look at our ground textures, we've got a fairly standard set of ground textures here. Animal mud, asphalt, concrete, dirt. We do not have this stamped concrete, though. Would really like to be able to put down this stamped concrete. Then you're going to see also around the map, we have some cobblestone where we have some water that we also can't put down. With that, let's go ahead and get set up for the fly around. We're going to fly around the map and then come back to the vehicle shop, get in our Mahindra, and then drive around to all of the sell points and other animal areas. As we gain a little bit of altitude, let's go ahead and do a little look around. But again, as I said, anyone that has played FS17 likely has played on this map a bit, and this map is basically identical to the FS17 version of Sosnovka, as best as I can recall. As best as I can recall it. Now, overall, the fields are fairly easily merged. They are split with these poplar trees. Poplar trees are not the type of trees that you can really easily harvest with respect to the tree harvester, but you could come in here with one of the tree grinders and grind them away. As I said, we're going to find scattered around the map these silage bunkers. The map is really well set up to do some bulk silage operation. One of the several fuel depots located below. We have a train station sell point. And while we do have animated trains, as you see one going through here right now, we do not have a train sell point. So there's no place to sell crop kind of off the map as we are used to now experiencing that with respect to Farm Sim 22. We're also going to find some railroad tracks on the western side of the map. And as you can see there, we have a train that is running south. And then the train that just passed us is actually going to loop off the map and then come back on the map and then progress north along that western train line. Directly in front of us, we have a sheep pasture. Then we also have another silage clamp right next to that. So our sheep pasture down there. Yet another fuel point. Lots of fuel points on this map. I think the Slavic area must be used to having pretty low fuel economy because, boy, there are a lot of fuel tanks. We've got another grain sell point below there. So we continue to make our way south across the map. You look across to the north. And here we can see we have the train that is continuing through the line, now up the north direction along the western side of the map. I don't know why I couldn't speak there. Below we have a log sell point. And guess what? That is right, we are coming up to yet another fuel buy point. Located right there. Heading across the map, we have another set of sell points. Well located here up on the hill. And then we have one right here. Our start farm is directly over here to the right. Now we're going to loop back to the west, and directly in front of us we have the pig area. Now this map has just one production point on the map, and that is the BGA. And as you can see from the fly around, we have not yet seen an area really set aside for the placement of production, because there really isn't. You're going to have to sacrifice farmland in order to place additional production facilities, or you could buy one of these animal pens and then sell the animal pen and then put down production. Now, since we do not have an area set aside for production, and since we only have the biogas plant really set down as far as production being built into the map, I am going to deduct a half a point with respect to our first scoring metric, that is production built in and or areas set aside for such. Down here at the biogas plant, we have our digester as well as our dump point for manure. We have our digestate output, and then we have a series of silage bunkers located right here. We have 5 silage bunkers specifically. And that is right, ladies and gentlemen, we have yet another fuel point right here in this fuel station. Coming into town, we have a few sell points. One located over here to our right. We have a bit of a school area. And then one located over here to our left. We have yet another fuel point to our left. We have a silage bunker directly below. And then we have our chicken coop area also directly below. Now we are going to double back to the shop, but here we have our vehicle shop and dealer triggers. Another grain sell point. We have another log sell point down here at the waterway. We have our animal dealer located here with the giant cow. And then we have one final sell point located here at the bakery. And the bakery is where I really feel that we could have had an additional production element built into the map. This is a bakery, right? Wonderful mural. Love the mural from Sosnovka FS 15, 17, and such. But this could very easily have been a functional bakery where we would have had our dump point, right? We could have had our then pallet spawn point, maybe right there, maybe right over here, and then kind of at this side. door, we could have had our interactive icon. But this would, in my opinion, would have been really, really nice to have seen as a functional production item here on the map for FS22. Let's make our way back to the shop. As we do that, we are going to give the map a full point with respect to having the ability to buy or sell all of the base game crops, production outputs, as well as animal outputs. So that is going to be a full point there. We are also giving the map a full point with respect to having a fully customizable farm, with the exception of the utility poles. And I would not normally expect the farmer to be able to do anything about utility poles because, well, that is property of said utility and not the farm itself. So inside the shop, we have our shop trigger. We are going to go ahead and pick up the Mahindra. And then outside the shop, we have our vehicle spawn point. We've got a decent area here in the parking lot for new vehicles to spawn in at. Fairly wide entry and exit into the shop. So we should be pretty well set to buy some fairly large pieces of machinery that we don't have to worry about having a narrow entry and exit. Then we have our customized repair, sell, trade, and repaint dealer trigger located right here. I think what we'll do is maybe make a clockwise rotation around the map with respect to our drive around. So here we have our first grain dump station. And this is the village grain elevator. Make our way over here to the kind of the log sell point. And with respect to buildings where appropriate are using the new texture technique, this map is a fairly true conversion from FS17. So we are not using the new texturing technique on any of these buildings. We do not have in any way pretty much any FS22 buildings scattered around on the map. So we have our log sell point. We have our wood sell trigger. So we do have some new ground textures. We are going to give the map a quarter of a point on that one, just because of so many, all of these, not just so many, all of these buildings are using the just general old textures, which isn't that big of a deal. It's not going to affect your gameplay, I don't think. It's going to keep you kind of in the immersion mode because all of these buildings are definitely jiving with each other. So there we have our animal buy trigger. It's just they're not using the new features of FS22. As a scoring metric, well, we just have to address that. A little bit of a lip up to get in here. We have our sell point. And we've seen these conversions before in FS22. We've seen 2 Goldcrest valleys. We've seen 2 midtowns. No, not midtowns. Any rate, I'm drawing a blank. We've seen before where we have kind of a map that is a true to life conversion. And then we have a map that is more of a FS22 rendition of this particular map. So this is actually a convert of the FS19 version of this map by our good friend of the channel, GTX. And the reason I know that is because of this memorial right here. Let's make our way down the southern edge of the map. So maybe we'll see, maybe we'll see a Sosnovka come out that has the same PDA layout, that has modernized buildings everywhere with the new texturing technique. Like I said, we saw that with respect to Goldcrest Valley. We also saw that with a map that I am notoriously always forgetting the name for. And the reason I said Midtown is because Midtown was a map that I really enjoyed playing on in FS17. That was a 4X convert of this other map that I am trying to remember. But basically, it is a map from FS15. Very much beloved by lots of players. I just completely never can remember the name of it, because I never played it under that particular name. One of our 7 fuel depots available on the map. Yeah, we'll come through the traffic circle. And this is going to be our sawmill. So this is going to be our wood chip sell point. This is another log sell point. Then we have our wood cell icon. Let's come back. We missed our turnoff. We need to come down and around. Really great use of various levels of the terrain. A little rough here, a little bump up coming up to a sell point. And up and around. Let's make our way down here to the sheep pen. At that point in time, we'll buy the sheep pen and then take a look at where all the triggers are for that. We have our silage bunker. Right there's the trigger for that. And the reason I wanted to see that is I wanted to see if we needed to own the land in order for the compaction trigger to show up. Now that I have bought the sheep pen, we have our food trough. We have our water trough. We have our sheep buy point. Just want to see if that was a gate. 250 sheep for this particular facility. And then we have our wall point right here at the door. There's another fuel point, as we pointed out during the flyover. I think let's do a little off-roading. Make our way up to the sell point on the hilltop here. There's a windy road listed on the PDA, but we're not seeing it show up. Now this is kind of a garden center area. So we have our grain sell point, and then this is going to be kind of a sell point for palletized products. No doubt. Now here we have some hash marks, but there doesn't appear to be any sort of trigger here, so I believe that this may be a residual of the FS19 variant of this map, again by our good friend of the channel, GTX. Across the river and into the next sell point, another silage bunker to the left. Here we have our spinnery. I would love to know down in the comments below, how many variants of Sosnovka have you played on? Did you play on it in FS15? How about 17, 19? And are you going to take it on in 22 as well? There's also been several edits of Sosnovka that have come out in the years past. As you saw, we passed yet another fuel point. Another grain sell point. Lots of sell points on the map, that is for sure. So you don't have to worry about the economy crashing as a result of selling a large amount of grain. We have our BGA, and then we're going to go take a look across the street at the pig area. We do have a little bit of issue with our elevations getting in and out of some of these areas, so you want to be kind of careful driving through here. But we have our 5 silage bunkers. Our digester, our dump point for our manure and such. Our interactive icon, then our digestate area. Right across the street we have then the pig area. $300 pigs for this particular facility. Our slurry point, our food trough, and then across the way here we have our straw trigger. I'm going to go ahead and make our way north through town. Fairly easy to navigate and make your way around the map. There are a few garden plots here in town that you could buy and make use of. A couple of those are located right there. Something that I've noticed is we do not have pedestrians on this particular map. As I say that, they show up right here in town. This is pretty much the only area where you see pedestrians. During my reconnaissance of the map, I was really feeling I was alone. Here we have a supermarket sell point. And then I know I found this map rather intriguing in FS19 with respect to these pipes that are running through the town, you know, above ground. And as best I could derive, they were like gas heating pipes. So they were a dump station there. A little narrow getting out of this particular area. But it's like they're piped through town, above the ground, to the various buildings. And I'm guessing I wouldn't think it would be like town water, because it would freeze. In the winter it'd freeze being it's in the air like that. But my guess is it's like heating gas. And we're gonna come up to our chicken coop, and then that's where we're gonna call the map. Now, overall, I do feel that the player interactive areas are clearly marked on this map. So the overall final score is going to be 3.75. And where this map lost its points. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it is a map that is not going to be enjoyable to be played. I think it is just speaking towards how the map has been designed deliberately, is that it lost a half a point with respect to only having the BGA for production and not really having any other areas that we could buy and put down additional production facilities. We're going to have to either sell these animal pens in order to do that, 100 chickens, or we're going to have to sacrifice field space in order to do that. And that's just something that I don't like to do, as a matter of fact. And then we lost 3/4 of a point with respect to building textures, because these are using the older textures. It's very, very obvious. When you look here, we have FS22 quality ground textures, and then we have this, right? So the buildings are not using the new texturing technique. That's not a, doesn't mean the map is bad, right? It just means that it's not using the new texturing technique, which again is how the map was designed. So we have our egg spawn point, and we have our food truck. If we go and take a look at our animals, got our standard base game requirements for our pigs, our chickens, our sheep, and our cows. So guys, that is going to do me for another map video. It is really, really hard to believe that we are over 130 maps reviewed for Farming Simulator 22, and we are not even 9 months into the life of Farm Sim 22. Where will we be at the conclusion of 1 full year? Where will we be at the conclusion of 2 years? And where will we be at the conclusion of Farm Sim 22's run in general? Farm Sim 22 has been an excellent experience with respect to maps ever since I have started doing these map videos way back in FS17 in 2017. We have seen more and more maps come out for each subsequent version of the game. It is an excellent time to be a Farm Sim player. Let me know your comments down below. And until next time, happy farming.